The village of Daraway was old. Ancient trees whispered secrets to the wind. The villagers spoke of curses. They spoke in hushed tones. Tariro, a young girl with eyes as bright as the stars, lived on the edge of Daraway. Her grandmother, a woman of wisdom and shadows, filled her head with tales, stories of the village, of magic, and of a melody that could lure souls astray. One day, while exploring the attic, Tariro stumbled upon a hidden alcove. Dust motes danced in the single ray of sunlight. The light revealed a black violin. Its ebony surface gleamed. It seemed to beckon her closer. Tariro felt a strange pull towards the instrument. She reached out, her fingers tracing the smooth, cold wood. A shiver ran down her spine. She knew she shouldn't, yet she couldn't resist. She had to play it. The violin felt cold in her hands. Colder than it should. Tariro lifted the instrument. It smelled faintly of rain and earth. She rested the violin on her shoulder. The bow felt as light as a feather. It seemed to glide across the strings. The first note that pierced the silence was sharp. It was discordant, yet it resonated deep within Tariro's soul. As her bow danced, the shadows in the attic seemed to writhe. They twisted in time with the music. A cold breeze swept through the room. Tariro's heart pounded. The air grew heavy. The single candle flickered, casting dancing shadows on the walls. Tariro felt a presence. Someone or something was there in the attic with her, watching. Tariro continued to play. She was lost in the music. The notes flowed from the violin with an eerie grace. They painted pictures in her mind, visions. A woman with sorrowful eyes stood weeping in a moonlit garden. Her long dark hair flowed like a river. Her pale hand reached out, grasping for something lost, then darkness. Tariro's fingers ached, but she couldn't stop. The violin held her captive. The melody was haunting, beautiful, and terrifying all at once. With each note, the visions grew stronger. She saw a man, his face obscured, holding the black violin. His melody was filled with rage. It was a melody of despair. Tariro's fingers finally stilled. The last note hung in the air, then vanished. Silence descended upon the attic, heavy and absolute. The shadows receded. The presence was gone. Exhaustion washed over Tariro. Her grip on the violin loosened. It slipped from her grasp and clattered to the floor. But even in the silence she heard it, the faint echo of the melody, and she understood. The woman in her visions was her ancestor. The man, consumed by jealousy and rage, had cursed the violin. He trapped her ancestor's soul within the instrument, binding her to the melody. Tariro was not just playing the violin, she was playing her ancestor's sorrow, her pain. And in doing so, she was keeping her trapped. The violin was not the only thing cursed. The melody itself was a prison of her own making. The realization struck Tariro like a physical blow.